Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today we are talking all about one of my favorite types of garments, the t-shirt or t-shirt dress. um, Yes, we're going to be talking about how to pick the best for you t-shirt pattern and fabric so that you too can create your own dream t-shirts. Again, it's one of my favorite things to make, so that is what today's video is about. But before we get into that, today is Friday, which means we do have a Love Notions Feature Friday pattern, and that is the Summer Basic Essentials, which is a fabulous pattern, $5 today only. There's so many options. The tank variation that is on that pattern is one that I leave next to my cutting table, and I'll just cut, like if I've cut out a t-shirt, I'll cut a tank top out too, because they're just great for layering. It's my favorite knit tank pattern. But I have recently today made a dress. This is the Summer Basics dress, and it is the above the knee version, and then I added a tier to the bottom to make it maxi, and because I just love tiers. We'll be talking a little bit more about that when we get kind of towards the end of the video, but yes, that is today's pattern. $5 today only, and 10 Whitney gets you an additional 10% off that sale price. If this is not a pattern in your catalog, you really want to add it to your catalog. It's just a really great basic pattern. It's one of my favorites, and I'm really loving my new dress that I made, and we'll be talking more about that in this video, so stay tuned. But yeah, you're going to want to go grab that before we go any further. Okay, let's talk about sewing with knits. Now, I know that number one, some people are scared of sewing with knits. You've been sewing with wovens, they're easy. You're doing it with ease on your sewing machine. You've tackled a dress, a blouse, whatever, but you're scared of knits because they stretch. And sometimes our machines can be finicky with them. All of these knits can absolutely be sewn on a sewing machine. You do not need a serger or a cover stitch machine. I do have a serger and cover stitch machine and use them to my advantage, but you don't need to have one. You can do everything on your sewing machine, but don't be scared to sew with knits. I have a couple of options for you. We have created a free knits 5 tips for sewing with knits ebook that is on the website that I will link down below. By we, I put the information in and Ginny created this ebook, and it's really nice. So it's free. You can download it for free. It's on the website. I will leave that down below. But I also offer a course called Knit Sewing Essentials, where we talk all about how to sew with knits with our sewing machines, how to sew with knits with a serger and a cover stitch machine. And we go through making t-shirts, a basic t-shirt, but I show you all like four different neckline variations: a bound neckline, a round neckline, a V neckline, and a boat neckline, so a faced neckline. Anyway, through that course. So I will leave that course down below if you're wanting a little bit more hand-holding when it comes to sewing knits or making your own t-shirt. Okay. So go over to the website, check it all out. The website's beautiful. We just had it redone back in June. So just go take a look anyway. It's a pretty place to be now. Okay, so let's start off with why would I want to sew a t-shirt? There's many reasons. Number one, they are great wardrobe basics. I love a good t-shirt. They're fantastic for layering, for wearing alone. They're just kind of the glue that holds my wardrobe together, especially if you have a little bit more casual of a wardrobe, which I do. However, that being said, you can wear t-shirts with trouser pants and with all suits. I mean, it's just a great wardrobe basic. They're a lot of fun to make. They are customizable, of which I have a tutorial coming. Let's see, when are you watching this? Is it next week? I think it's next week. A tutorial for doing some hacking of your t-shirt if you're interested in that. So that's next week. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss it. But they're very customizable. So you can find a great base t-shirt pattern that you get to fit yourself and all of that, and that you love. And it's really easy to hack different necklines on it, to make it in different fabrics, to get a different look, prints, solids, all sorts of things, to have a really different looking garment, even though it's the same base pattern. I just really like them for those, because it's a t-shirt pattern is at its core the basic knit pattern for a top. So really great for that. Also, they're very quick to sew. So again, if you are scared, I do have a class where I literally hold your hand through the entire knit sewing process, or go check out the ebook if you just want some reminders maybe, or some tips for how to make your knit sewing a little bit easier. Not necessarily, well, better, I guess, kind of, but really just easier, less frustrating. Have more successes than fails is the goal. But they're just, really quick to sew, so they're a really great palette cleanser. So that is the reason why I love t-shirts. Now, I had met with Stof Fabrics. You guys know how I feel about Stof knits. They are just luxurious. And I met them at H&H Americas in Chicago back in April, and had oh my gosh, just looking through all of the like pre-ordered fabric. Oh, the prints that they have coming out are just stunning. I could have walked away with every single fabric they are selling and been very, very happy. But they graciously sent me 3 fabrics to play around with, and kind of, because we're going to be talking about fabric here in a minute once we're finished talking about patterns. But these are all 3 Stof knits, and you can get definitely 2 of them at University of Sewing right now. The print here is on pre-order right now. So if it's not in by the time this video is filming, keep checking in. She is getting this in. So this fabric, which is absolutely gorgeous, is coming in. But if you are just really impatient and just want any of the different prints that they've got there, she carries quite a few of them there at University of Sewing. So I have a link down to all the Stof. She has a ton of Stof fabrics, as well as some of their other knit substrates, like their French terry. She's got some of their all sorts of things. And what I love about Stof is that not only do they sell beautiful prints, but they also sell like coordinating. So all these coordinate together. So they've got the ribbing that coordinates with the fabrics as well. So if you're making sweatshirts, that kind of thing, it makes it really easy to pick colors. It's just a lot of fun. And again, I think I'll be working a little bit more with them, and University of Sewing is going to be stocking anything that I'm talking about. So definitely, but you can find Stof knits if you're in other parts of the country or in the world. Stof knits are sold everywhere. And a lot of times wherever, like Bernina dealers, I think they work somewhat closely with that, but they're in regular fabric stores as well. But definitely worth having a look-see if you come across any Stof knits, because they are just really great quality. The prints are beautiful. They wash really well. I have made quite a few different Stof fabrics. Okay, let's talk about patterns. How do I find my dream t-shirt pattern? Number 1, we're going to identify what you like in a t-shirt. Try on some t-shirts in a store. Look through your closet. What do you really like? Do you like a t-shirt that's a little slouchier, a little bit more comfortable? Do you like something that's a little bit more fitted, a little bit more sculptural? Things that, holds more sculptural necklines a little bit better? Do you like t-shirts that are a little boxier, oversized? What is it that you like about your favorite t-shirts, whether or not you've tried them on, or it's something that you have in your wardrobe already? So identify those things, because that is going to play a part in what pattern that you might choose for your base pattern, your TNT t-shirt pattern, tried and true. I actually have quite a few different t-shirt patterns I like to make for different reasons, depending on what I'm going to be doing and what I want this t-shirt to do in my wardrobe. But it's a great place to start, and locating those attributes that you want in your pattern. Number 2, you are going to want to try and find pattern companies that have a sloper a little bit similar to you. For instance, and this just makes fitting a little bit easier. I actually have a little mini course as well. Sorry, this is kind of turned into a commercial, not meaning to. But I have a little mini course available as well on picking patterns for your body shape. And not body shape as in I'm a rectangle, pear, whatever. It's finding pattern companies that draft for a sloper that's more closely resembles your measurements in your body type. Also, for instance, if you have a large bust, finding pattern companies that draft either with cuff sizes, or they've got full bust options, or maybe they just draft for a larger cup, it makes it much easier to fit. That's one less thing you have to do. You can do a full bust adjustment on a knit pattern, but so much easier if they've already done that for you. Also, if you're short or tall, maybe finding a pattern company that drafts for a little shorter person or a taller person, things like that can come in very handy. So locating those pattern companies that might just work a little bit easier for you. Also, if you have a pattern company that you have made quite a few of their woven patterns and you find that they fit you easily, you have to do very few adjustments, whatever the case may be, that is a great place to start. Almost every pattern company, I feel like, has a t-shirt pattern. So if you know that you love their woven patterns, chances are you're really going to like their knit t-shirt pattern as well. So that'd be a great first place to start, finding a t-shirt pattern that might work a little bit easier for you. On that note as well, sorry, this is turning to commercial. Pattern Fitting 101 is getting ready to open up again in the beginning of August, and it'll be starting like mid-August. But we fit a woven top, a knit top, so you will get a t-shirt pattern that fits you really great. We don't go for perfect, we go for really great. And then a knit pant and a woven pant through that class. So if that's of interest to you, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter because more information will be coming out about that. But yeah, finding pattern companies that you already know that you love their woven patterns, absolutely try their knit t-shirt patterns. It's another really great place to start. And then my final tip is just finding some people on social media. If you have a few sewing people, this is important. You want sewing people that, because you're going to be looking to see what patterns they're making. But if someone that has an aesthetic that you really like, or a style that you really like, or maybe they're built similarly to you, or whatever the case may be, finding those people and seeing what t-shirt patterns they're making up. So you kind of see them already done up on someone that has an aesthetic that you're wanting to not copy, but emulate, or you're inspired by that aesthetic or that style and it's similar to yours. That is a great place to start and a great place to look for patterns as well. Okay, so now once we have found this dream pattern, not hard to do, try a whole bunch. T-shirts are fun and quick to make, so and you're never gonna find a t-shirt pattern. Well, I shouldn't say that, maybe you will. It's always just depends, right? But t-shirt patterns, especially when it even comes to fitting, knit fabric does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So you get a lot less fails with t-shirts than say with a woven top. So, try a few, adventure out. Don't be afraid to fail, but use good quality knit fabric. You're going to get a t-shirt that you're going to enjoy and love to wear a lot more if you're using a quality knit fabric. Now, that brings us to our next point. How do I find the fabric for my dream t-shirt? Well, this kind of goes back to maybe looking at some t-shirts that you've got already in your wardrobe that you really love, seeing what they're made out of. But I have three basically substrates that I prefer for my t-shirts that we're going to be talking about today, and why you might want to choose one over the other. Also gives you some keywords to use when you are fabric shopping online, or even in a fabric store, looking around. So the first one that I want to talk about is cotton spandex. So this orangey marigold shirt here is a cotton spandex knit, and as is this. This is also, it's the same fabric, just one's a print and one is a solid. Now, this is my favorite fabric to use for t-shirts because I like a more fitted, structured t-shirt. I just prefer that on my body for most of the time. Now, I'm wearing a shirt that's actually a different one. And I do wear some of this type as well, but not as many. Most of my wardrobe is made up of cotton spandex knit t-shirts because, again, I really like the structure that it gives me. I like the square neckline, and that is going to hold up really beautifully with a more structured fabric. Cotton is a more structured fiber. It has a little bit more body in it. So when you're making a t-shirt in this, it's better for more fitted t-shirts as well. Because while it does cling and it hugs the body, because it's not drapey, it doesn't cling to everything. If you're making a rayon or viscose spandex t-shirt and making it super fitted, that shows everything. Just so you know. Yes, just so you know. I mean, just things to know when you're choosing fabric to go with a particular pattern. I prefer more, for the most part, for most of my t-shirts, a more close-fitting t-shirt, which is why I typically go with a cotton spandex, because again, I can wear it more fitted to my body without it clinging as bad. I mean, it shows a little bit more because it's tighter, rolls. But it's still, because of the body of the fabric, it will graze over quite a few of the rolls. But I also just like the structure for it too. So cotton spandex is fabulous, but it depends on the types of t-shirts you like. So this may not be your cup of tea. That's absolutely fine. But this is my favorite, personal favorite substrate. Stof has beautiful cotton spandex jersey. And you can get them coordinating. I love that. But there are quite a few other ones that are out there as well that I truly love. So it's a great one. And I think, yeah, you're going to want to get that free knit ebook that's on the website because we've got some, tips and where to look for fabrics and stuff like that. Other places to look for things. Yeah, you're going to want that free knit ebook. Okay, next, which can be a great option as well, but has a little different properties, is a viscose or rayon spandex jersey. Viscose and rayon are the same thing, so we can use those words interchangeably. Kind of depends on where you are in the world on what they call it. Now, viscose or rayon is a heavier fiber, so it is made out of wood cellulose that goes through a chemical process to become a thread. Bamboo is also considered a rayon because it has to go through the chemical process. What else would be? Tinsel knit, lyocell, any of that. Also modal also is different types of rayons, kind of. They just have, different starting products that might be more sustainable to the environment. But anyway, they all are heavier, so they just make a drapier fabric, which can be lovely. If you like more oversized t-shirts or a little bit slouchier looking, more comfortable looking t-shirts, this is a fabulous fabric to use. If you're making a t-shirt that has details on it that need a little bit of drape, such as a cowl neck, or maybe like a little fluted sleeve or something that you want to have a little bit of swish, or even a peplum top where you want it to have a little bit of movement and swish. Fantastic fabric to use. I also find that your viscose and rayon spandex is a little bit more comfortable to wear in the extreme heat. Cotton, I mean, it just absorbs your body moisture. So it can, wearing cotton. I wear cotton in the summer quite frequently, but it just holds on to perspiration and stuff. So it can be uncomfortable if you're like outside at a fair all day long or whatever and getting very sweaty. Rayon and viscose just is a little bit more, it doesn't hang on to it quite as much. So I'll wear these type of t-shirts to the gym. I wouldn't wear a cotton spandex t-shirt to the gym. It would just hang on to everything and be uncomfortable to wear. So if I'm not wearing an athletic knit, I would pick something like this. Typically with my rayons and my more drapier fabrics, I do less sculptural necklines. I mean, I have done a V-neck on this one, but I typically, this was actually I've got a tutorial coming on how to hack a V neckline. So I was using this to demonstrate, but typically I like more like rounded necklines just because it's harder. This was a bugaboo to sew in. Putting in that V neckline into the front of the shirt because the fabric does shift, even the knit fabric. Much easier to sew the corner points on this shirt which is basically a V neckline just on either side in the cotton spandex knit. So just keep that in mind. I find crew necks or round necks are just much easier to do in the drapier fabrics, but completely up to you. This is the Cashmerette Carlisle from their club pattern. I think it's the same base as their Concord t-shirt. It just came with the square neckline. And this is the Love Notions Classic tee that I hacked a V neckline. Even though the pattern comes with a V neckline, I was showing a process. But this is the hacked V neckline. This isn't the V neckline that comes with it. Anyway, the classic t-shirt is a t-shirt that is a little roomier and a little bit more relaxed, and so I like it with this type of fabric because I can have just a little bit slouchier t-shirt if that's what I'm going for. And then the third thing to look for is a cotton modal spandex knit. That is what I've got on right here. So this is a little bit of the best of both worlds. It still has some structure because of the cotton content, but it has a little bit more movement because it's got that modal, which is basically a rayon. This is a little bit more sculptural neckline. It wasn't a complete, this is the Glenelly by Itch to Stitch. It wasn't super hard because it does have that cotton component in there to sew in this neckline. And I do like the modal. However, again, when I'm wearing my t-shirts like really fitted to my body, I do find that the cotton modal, it clings a little bit more kind of like a rayon than I'm comfortable with. But if I'm doing a little bit more relaxed t-shirt, such as this one, where it's just not quite as form-fitting, I do like the cotton modal. It's a newer combination of fibers, so it's not as prevalent. You can find viscose or rayon spandex knits, you know, and cotton spandex knits, you know, dime for a dozen. You can find them everywhere. But again, quality does count. So shop from shops that you've shopped before where you've been impressed with their quality. Chances are their knits are going to be just as good as their wovens. Go see them in person. One of the tips that I've gotten is if you go into a fabric store and you want to see pilling, to rub the fabric against itself. And if it pills when you're doing this in the fabric store, don't buy it because it will pill when you take it home. Also, the dryer will make things pill. So the more air drying you can do with your garments, the better on the longevity and the better that it stays good. But yeah, that is how you're going to pair fabric and pattern to make your own dream t-shirt patterns. And again, you can try different fabrics with that same pattern to come up with different types of t-shirts, hack different necklines on it. It's just a really great wardrobe staple. And again, one of my favorite palette cleansers. I love to sit down and make a couple of t-shirts when I've had a lot of fails. It's a good one to get me back on track. And don't forget, today is the Love Notions Summer Basic is on sale. Talk about this real quick before we end up. I made the size medium with the full bust. I did the above the knee skirt, and then I added a 12-inch long tier to the bottom. And I just gathered a gigantic rectangle onto the bottom of the hem of the above the knee skirt. And that's how I got this dress. And I absolutely love it. We use bindings for the armholes and the neck on this, which is really fun to do. I have a binder for my cover stitch. I've never used it, played around with it. I should do that. So I serge these on and then just wrap them, cover stitch them, and then trim any excess on the other side. Absolutely love wearing this. This is beautiful fabric. Again, University of Sewing has these two solids, and they will be getting this in if it's not already. But I will link down below all of their Stof knits, and I have just had nothing but the greatest success with Stof knit fabrics. They're one of my favorite knits to use, and all the beautiful prints and colors. Just very impressed. Okay, I think that's all I've got for today. This was a long one, so thanks for hanging with me. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up at the end through the end of July, as well as in August and September. So make sure you don't miss a thing by hitting that subscribe button. All right, guys, that is all I have for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, found it informative, and I will see you guys again on Tuesday. Have a good weekend and get some sewing in.